Section 5, 840 of the integrity findings also reveal that the Director of Investigation notes that Mr. Holness' NCB account ending 87 was opened on September the 17th, 2021, and that it reflected a zero balance up to September the 27th, 2021, when all of a sudden a mysterious deposit of 143,030 US dollars was made. You where it made from them, my people? SSL. Bless up, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, the Integrity Commission with an immediate release to clarify the decision delivered by judge in the Supreme Court, because we're seeing a whole lot of, biasness as it pertains to a particular mainstream media, wants to change the narrative in order to make it look good on the Prime Minister's part. But the Integrity Commission is here to mash down all the lies and the twisted narrative. As well as I'm here to point out a very important pattern. It seems to be that Anju Holness is always one of the lucky one when it comes on to his investment. He's always getting back his investment before the entity collapses. And so stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, remember to go over to my TikTok at Isabel Rose and follow me over there. Please to support the membership of this YouTube channel. Join the membership. Only a small fee per month. You get a lot of benefits by becoming a member. So ABR family and viewers, we're seeing a whole lot of things circulating in the media space after we learned of the findings of this 108 pages of affidavit from the Integrity Commission's Director of Information and the other strikeout request from Anju Holness. And so we're seeing a particular mainstream media wants to twist the narrative, change the narrative, coming to let us know that instead of 28 bank accounts, it is 8 active bank accounts. And so we are not working with what they want to say, right? We're working with what the Integrity Commission reports stated. And so the Integrity Commission stated in their report last year that they combed through 28 bank accounts for Anju Holness with approximately 3,600 transactions. And whatever the Integrity Commission says, it we, the well-thinking Jamaicans, are working with. Till they come out otherwise, then we will change the narrative then. But we don't want to hear from no JLP FM. Now here I have an immediate release from the Integrity Commission, and it's dated August 1st. And it says, statement from the Integrity Commission on applications in Anju Holness versus the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission takes this opportunity to clarify the decision delivered by a judge of the Supreme Court in the caption claim, as there appears to be some misconceptions in the media. On July 31st, 2025, Ms. Justice Althea Jarrett dismissed the application by Prime Minister and 3 connected companies to strike out parts of the Director of Information's affidavit as being scandalous, irrelevant, and an abuse of process. The judge held that the evidence is relevant to the claim and that the Director of Information had a duty to disclose the information. The judge also dismissed the claimant's application to obtain unredacted versions of the minutes and memoranda for meetings of the Commission and committees of the Commission. The judge accepted the Commission's explanation that the minutes and memoranda included information on public officials and other business which did not relate to the claim and was therefore irrelevant. The judge also agreed that disclosing this information would breach the confidentiality provisions of the Integrity Commission Act. The judge refused to grant the claimant the wide disclosure they wanted of all documents prepared by 3 investigators who worked on the investigation report, instead limiting the disclosure to such documents if they exist which contained their analysis, conclusions, and recommendations concerning the investigation and the investigation report. The judge expressly refused the claimant's application for disclosure of the resignation of one of the investigators on the basis that it was irrelevant. The Commission's application to strike out parts of the claimant's claim on the basis that they were an abuse of process was largely granted. The judge agreed with the Commission's attorneys that the parts of the claim that suggested the Director of Information had purportedly examined the statutory declarations for 2022 and 2023 was not correct given the court's earlier ruling that the Director of Information had discharged his statutory duty in relation to those declarations. Similarly, the judge struck out that part of the claim which alleged that the Commission, as opposed to the Director of Investigation, had carried out the investigation or issued the investigation report. The claimant's attorneys applied for permission to appeal the decision made against them. They also applied for the proceedings to be stayed pending appeal. The judge granted both applications. In the circumstances, it is unlikely that the trial of the claim, which was scheduled for October 2025, will proceed on that date. The Commission did not seek permission to appeal the judge's orders, as those orders were largely consistent with its position and the submissions its attorneys made. The Commission would have preferred to resolve the substantive issues in the shortest possible time, but remains ready to defend its position in any appeal which the claimants file. But look at them too. The report and affidavit is about Anju only, but yet still they applying for disclosure of the resignation for one of the investigators. That is none of his business. Why him want to know why the investigator resigned? And so now we know that the trial, as this immediate release stated, is unlikely to be aired on the date in October because we see where they applied for permission to appeal. So it is indeed that they will appeal, and until that appeal is basically aired or until they get a decision on that appeal, then this trial is on hold basically. Now in this last segment, I want you to look at this pattern, and there's a pattern of information not being reported to the Commission, as well as there's a pattern where he's always investing in some form of Ponzi scheme, it seems to me, and then he always, and I'm wondering if I lucky so, or he's always been tipped off. He's always one of the lucky ones to have always gotten his investment return right before the entities collapse. We've seen from the Integrity Commission's report of his whole statutory declaration last year, where he got a sum from SSL, and it is stated that he invested in SSL. And this affidavit from the Director of Information is basically showing another pattern with a Olint and also with a Cash Plus. So I'm about to read a little bit out of the affidavit, and then I'm going to hear the parts of the Integrity Commission report where he had gotten 143,000 US right before SSL collapsed. And so the affidavit says, financial investments, JMMB statement for 4 government bonds with residual amounts totaling 195 US were provided to the Commission to support aggregated balances on accounts submitted. Of statutory declaration for year ended December 31st, 2012, these debt instruments were not previously reported to the Commission, aggregated face value of 4 bonds was $1 million US. The insignificant balance on each account indicated residual amounts after encashment or transfers were made. The following accounts were first reported at December 31st, 2018. Bank of Nova Scotia, that's a US account, and Jan, he has a US account. The following accounts were first reported at December 31st, 2019, and that's a First Caribbean account. So that are 3 accounts so far that wasn't previously reported to the Commission. There's also a Citibank account and an NCB Capital Market account. Bank of America account number was reported during the period 2007 to 2009 with negligible balances between 56 and 1,135 US dollars. But really and truly, here's the part that I want you to really focus on. Look at the dates on the left hand side, look at the amount invested, and look at the amount that was basically encashed. And I want you to focus and pay attention on it. And this is from year 2005 to year 2007. The value of investment held in Olint was recorded as 1.2 million US dollars, and this is dated August 30, 2007. This amount was derived by adding trading gains of 956,000 US dollars. It is unclear how much of his investment and trading gains were recovered from Olint. The sources of funds invested in Olint was not disclosed to the Commission, as it is evident that there was not sufficient evidence presented by the declarant to support his explanation that income was generated from various business activities. Significant investments were held by ADMAT in 2 financial institutions, Stocks and Securities Limited and JMMB, with no clear source of funding. And here's the part of his report as it pertains to Stocks and Securities Limited. Section 5840 of the integrity findings also reveal that the Director of Investigation notes that Mr. Olness' NCB account ending 87 was opened on September the 17th, 2021, and that it reflected a zero balance up to September the 27th, 2021, when all of a sudden a mysterious deposit of 143,030 US dollars was made. You where it made from them, people? SSL. Imperium's NCB US dollar savings account bearing number 52 was opened on November the 5th, 2020, in the height of the pandemic, when him tell people to stay home, with an opening balance of US $250 prior to a deposit of the amount I quoted before, my people, from SSL. It says Holness provided instance of commingling of assets with that of his sister Sigia in relation the property held at 23 Hill Road, Lot 26, Norbrook Heights, Constant Spring. There is also shared business interest in 2 companies incorporated during 2020. Search of the Intellios website revealed that Ms. Sajia is the owner of property and other assets held in the United States. It is unclear whether the declarant shares or shared in any other assets held by Ms. Sajia locally or in the overseas. The values of Olness's investment in assets held by Sajia needs to be ascertained. And so now we know why they wanted to basically change up the Integrity Commissions Act And the current justice minister at one point stated that they don't need to give any information of their children and their spouses' income to the Integrity Commission. So everything I play right out. And when I not gift, some of them I say them get gifts are dead left this and dead left that. We see a pattern here of them wanting to hide some of their assets in relatives' name, in spouses' names, in their children's names, and whatnot. And it is a offense to not disclose information and accurate information to entities such as the Integrity Commission. As I stated, ABR family and viewers, this bigger than all of us, and this Anju illness must go. As I stated too, I have the compressed 108 pages of affidavit. Anybody wants it, please to WhatsApp me. In the meantime, please go ahead, drop your comments in the comment section. Let me hear what I say. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. On the road to 30K, help me to get there. Get this video to at least 10,000 likes. Please stay tuned for more videos, for more updates. Big up on yourselves. Happy Saturday.